Good evening, and welcome back to Assetto Corsa. I said we'd be coming back here, and here we are. And as Dusk has already noticed, things look a little different. This, I said, you notice the patchy command. This is the patchy command. Although, we're not going to have any problems, are we? We're not going to have any problems, are we? You may have also noticed, those of you that are subscribed, there are a couple of other new additions as well. Yeah, they're kind of bait. And I'm still going to commission somebody to do some proper ones at some point. But we now have, emotes. There's actually supposed to be 4, Dusk, but 2 of them, Twitch is being kind of a bitch about. And won't approve them for some reason, even though there's nothing really to them. Just, no, you saw the bonk. But yeah, there's actually supposed to be 4. For some reason, it's only showing those 2. Which, is an oddity. Which is odd. Sure. All of these are correct. All that's correct. Good. We just do this real quickly. But yeah, no. There are currently 2. There's going to be 2 more. And then, like I said, at some point, I'm going to, reach out to somebody, commission them to do some more. But yes, now we finally have some actual emotes. But in the meantime, let's get started with Assetto Corsa. So, like I said, today's not going to be anything in particular. We're just going to drive and have a chat. Set a few lap times that may end up getting used for something at a later date. Of course, that entirely depends on how this goes. First things first, we are not using any mod or DLC cars or tracks today. In fact, we're generally going to stick to Laguna Seca today. Mostly because I like Laguna Seca. Sorry about the flashing. That's just OBS. I don't know why it does that, but it does that for some reason. I'm going to start with the... Ooh, what should we start with? We're going to start with the MX-5. It's a nice, easy to drive car that kind of gives you an idea of where this is going to end up going. We're going to build up. We're going to start with something easy and build up from there. It's going to get progressively faster, and with that, progressively more difficult. At least, that's the plan. But again, like I said, let's begin with the Mazda Miata. And while we're doing this, while we're loading in, so I was watching, so Koopa has what's called the Chupa Battle Tournament, and I was watching that today. Holy shit, Velik got her ass kicked. And that was just embarrassing. That was embarrassing. But I had to go and just bully her over that, because not only did she lose her title and her belt, it's who she lost it to that makes it even better. Because Koopa made Hedgie absolutely tiny. He was like, to the point where he was like half her size. And yet here he was just coming in and just running, he just came in and basically said, "No, this is my ring now. This is my belt. I'm taking it. I'm going home with it. Nothing you can do about it." And like I said, it was embarrassing. And off we go. Out of the pits. Burn that going, get the tires dusted off. And off we go. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Da, da, da. I don't know that song. I don't know why I'm acting like I know that song. No. No, you see, That's the thing. That's the thing, Dusk. No, I am not. In fact, in this state, I, the size varies. Let's just put it that way. The size can vary. I could be smaller to fit in the palm of your hand. But on the other hand, I might still also. Hello, Coyote. Hello. Buenas noches, Coyote. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está, Coyote? And it was like I said, yes, no. Yeah. How are you doing? I saw you were playing Mario Party 3. I was watching you play Mario Party 3. By the way, first things first, because hello, Coyote. Where are you? There you are. Get that going. Yeah, like I said, play Mario Party 3, and I saw that at a certain point you were like I said, now it's time to get salty because oh my god, that bridge mini game was trying to kill you. But it was like I was saying, we're just having a chat, having a drive, setting a few lap times down as we do. And like I said, we're starting a little slow, starting a little easy, just a warm up. And as we continue, we're going to get progressively more difficult. And progressively faster and progressively more difficult. Eventually, you'll see where this ends up leading to because this right now, like I said, this is a Mazda Miata. This is something that, you know, you can get pretty easily. Maybe not some, oh, well, yeah, no, you can still get these NA ones pretty easily. But this is a nice little 2-seat roadster you can have a bit of fun with. These are often used with a bit of modification as an introductory series for either an introductory or just a club level racing series. Oh yeah? How'd that go, Dust? So you did a test stream. How'd it go? Is your connection any better? Is it more stable? Or is it still acting up? Ah! There we go. So here we are, continuing onward. That, come around this way. Come through here. Oh, good. Yeah, no, because I was going to say, Wi-Fi is just painful. Trying to stream over Wi-Fi sounds like misery. So, on we go. Continuing through here. Lap 2. This is the one that really counts, because we don't have the slow start from the pit lane. Or rather, this isn't the one that counts, but you know what I mean. This is where our lap times really start going. Because coming out of the pits, we actually have a bit of a slow start. Partly due to the pit speed limit, and partly due to the fact that we're on cold tires, cold engine, cold everything. So, at first lap almost never, doesn't really count. It's an out lap. It's a separate thing. But these are our flying laps, and these are the ones that are going to count for something. We're going to try and put down at least 3 or 4 of these, and see how that ends up. Probably going to write this down depending on where it goes. Because like I said, I would like to use these lap times for something later on. I'll talk about that at the end of the stream. So continue onwards. We go up this hill towards the, under the VP bridge and towards turn 6. Come in, early apex, come along this corner again, continuing upwards, accelerate, continue under the Mazda bridge until we hit this 2 marker. This is where we start braking because, wait, never mind. No, we don't start braking there. We braked too early. This lap is going to be a complete disaster. Who am I talking? Who am I kidding? Why do I think that I know how to drive? Why do I think that I know what I'm doing here? I've been on Laguna Seca in forever, so I barely remember half the track anyways. But anyways, let's keep going. Yeah, so that lap was a warm-up. This is the first lap that really counts for something. What we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to make a few laps of this, and then we're going to take the average of that. And that average, I'll write it down somewhere, and I have plans for that in the future. Hopefully. Depending on, how things go. But anyways, like I said, continuing along, now for second flying lap. We're coming up to the end. Ready hairpin. As we do, continue accelerating. Brake here. Go for the center apex. Come along this way. Ride it out. Ride the second apex. Come out. Accelerate. Rotate the car a little bit. catch the slide, come along this way. As soon as we hit the 1 marker for turn 3, we brake slightly, just enough to rotate the car, get it around. Don't go off like that. Yeah, you don't want to go off like that. And continue to turn 4. So I just want to mention, some of these corners do have names, but some of them are just numbers. And that is a trend that I find really annoying. Oh, does it? Does it dusk? Does it have, what kind of weird spawning habits are we talking here? Because, that immediately sounds weird. That immediately sounds just strange. Having to dig because something spawned in the wrong place is just super awkward. That is just super awkward, super unpleasant. But anyways, can I just say real quickly, what I was saying about corners. So a lot of corners will just have numbers. And as a racing team, that actually makes a lot of sense. You know, being able to say, I'm at 2, I'm at 3, or I'm at 7, 10, whatever. And that gives the pit crew immediate knowledge of your location and gives them an idea of how they need to adjust the car depending on how you say it's behaving. So for example, I might say understeer at 2 or tail kicks out at 7. Based on that, the team can come in when you come back into the pits, make adjustments to the car that they think will fix the problem. But for an audience, a lot of corners on like famous racetracks have names, and those names mean a lot. And the fact that there's been no attempt to try and assign names to the major corners of new racetracks means that audiences just feel kind of left out. You can make audiences feel kind of left out because on one hand, sure, like I said, turn 10, 7, 5, whatever, it means a lot to the team, but you know what means a lot more to the audience is being able, as a viewer, is hearing somebody went off at Tamburello being a famous corner at Imola in Italy, or here at Laguna Seca, you know, oh, here they come down the corkscrew. The corkscrew being an absolute beast of a corner that I completely messed up on my last lap, and hopefully I won't mess up this time. But that is, like, one of my little things is corner names are a huge thing. They may not matter so much to the teams, but they are a huge part of audience engagement. In fact, as we come up the Rahal Straight, we're coming back to the corkscrew. And hearing this name, if you've seen people go down it, you know what it's like. And it builds anticipation. If you, like, you know, you hear about the corkscrew, it's this violent almost vertical drop into this hard blind chicane. And you know that it is a test of a driver's skill coming down there. And like I said, it builds up this anticipation that you're going to see, are they going to make it? Are they going to spin out? Are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? And then as they come around, you know, the excitement just builds as they come over the crest and come along down that corner. That is just an example of what corner names can do for a racing series and its audience. So having those names, I think, you know, getting rid of those names, or rather not getting rid of, but not continuing that tradition has been a huge mistake of so many racing series. If nothing else, you know, name it after people, name it after something so that people know, or name it after the other. Oh yeah. So for example, there's a track in Austin, Texas called Circuit of the Americas. Circuit of the Americas is a great track, but a lot of what it does is based on other tracks. It's got a few new ideas, but it's also kind of like the equivalent of a greatest hits album, where it's showing like it's putting together the best parts of other racetracks into something for whoa, that's a spin. Ooh. That was terrible. Come on. Get back up to speed. That's the thing. That tradition is a huge deal for the audience's engagement. So giving those corners some kind of names. They don't have to be anything flattering. For example, the one of the most famous corners at Silverstone in Britain, it's just called Abbey. Or there's another one. if it was like Abbey or Stowe or something like that, you know, it doesn't have to be the most flattering, amazing name in the world. It doesn't have to be like, you know, Super Mega Death Grind 3000, but just something that people can associate with that corner and helps them, you know, helps them get an emotional attachment to the track. That does a lot for viewer engagement in motorsport. A lot, just a hell of a lot more than just using numbers. Again, like I said, the numbers are useful for the teams, and so the numbers should still be a thing. But at the very least, 1 or 2 major corners at track, you should take on the track, just look at the track, and think, you know, hey, 1 or 2 of its more well-known corners deserve names, even if it's not something they get right out the gate, something they pick up over time. That would that does a lot for, yeah. No, Dusk. Like I said, the teams need the numbers. The teams need the numbers, and also on top of that, corner names, they need a reason to have that name, even if it's, you know, based on something that, for example, at Silverstone, Abbey has that name because it used to be near an abbey, and so having that association, that's literally all the name came from. It's just there used to be an abbey nearby, or the Hangar Strait, one of the most famous parts of Silverstone, named that because Silverstone used to be an airfield, and that's where the hangars used to be. Little things like that, though, just like I said, they're really for the audience, and there needs to be a reason for it. But they do something for the audience's engagement. But at the same time, these are names that need to have reasons for being called that, because otherwise it'll just start to feel fake, and your attempt to re-engage the audience will just come off as gimmicky, and they won't take to it. It needs to be, find something the audience says about a corner. Find something that drivers say about a corner. Find some piece of history about the track and promote that. You know, don't just come up with a name out of thin air. Give it a reason to have that name. Or not even give it give that name a reason to stick. And then you'll see how your audience's engagement goes up, and how people become, again, emotionally invested in these tracks. It's not going to be a fast process, but it's going to have, oh god, we went into the kitty litter. I was gonna say, yeah. It's going to have a huge impact. That's just my little rant about corner names and racetracks, and how corner names need to be brought back because they do a lot for audience engagement. They do a lot for the engagement of the spectators. And remember, for all the technical achievement, for all the brilliance that happens in motorsport, at the end of the day, it is that. It is a sport. It is something you're doing for spectators. And without those spectators, none of it matters, because you're not going to have any... You're not going to be able to continue if the spectators don't care. Ooh, perfect. And so we come along this way, under the Mother's Bridge, towards turn... I don't remember the corner numbers on this track either. Turn 5. Hard left, rotate the car, early apex, come along this way, downshift, because holy shit, we're lugging the engine. Coming back up this way towards 7. As we come up towards 7, we are going to late apex this one. Ooh, we didn't even apex that at all. Oh god, that rotation almost killed us. So yeah, the idea there is that we want to go for a late apex. That way we have more time that we spend accelerating, which will help us get up the Rahal Straight and get us into a better position to take the corkscrew. We break out 1, come in early apex, ride that out, rotate the car just a bit, come into the second apex, ride that one late, come along here, down through Rainy Curve, rotate the car just a bit to keep the speed up, then onto turn 10. I wonder sometimes, oh god, we spun. We spun. We spun. Okay. I'm a terrible driver. I'm a terrible driver. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I even bothering? Nobody cares. You suck at this. What are you like? What are you even doing? Oh god, 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 oh god. 11. Don't kill me. Please don't. We went into the kitty litter again. We went into the kitty litter again. God damn it. So, continuing onwards. Turn 11, we come up towards the start line again. And this will be our last lap in the MX-5, in the Miata. We're going to... I think what we're going to end up doing is taking our best lap and setting that as a benchmark for, like I said, setting this as a benchmark, but, you know, add a couple seconds to that, because here's the thing. For all the errors I've been making here, I do have a fair bit of experience with Assetto Corsa. And people who are new to this aren't going to have that advantage. So adding a couple of seconds as a sort of buffer to count for that will help with what I'm planning to do in the future, in the near future. What I'm hoping to do in the near future, I should say. Because I don't want this to be some impossible challenge that, you know, people who are new to this won't be able to do. Okay, coming along turn 5. Coming up the hill. Ooh. Which one is that, Coyote? Oh, no. Okay. Let me look that up, because the name sounds familiar, but I have to look up the layout. Look at the layout of this track now. Let's see what we got here. El Espinazo de Diablo, right? Is that the name? Yeah. Espinazo del Diablo. And that would be... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, it's this road! I know this road! I do know this road! Yeah, no. This is a hell of a road. And yeah, no, it is, I believe, actually famous. This is where the rallies would happen, isn't it? The Devil's Backbone. This is where the rallying would happen, isn't it? I mean, looking at it, yeah, it definitely is. It's an absolute nightmare. Let's see here. Mexico Rally, Devil's Backbone. Or is this... Wait, is this rallying or is this motorcycle racing? Let's see here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, no wonder this road is famous. It is a motorcycle racing road. That's a whole nother animal, by the way. Motorcycle racing is insanity. I was watching a while back motorcycle racing, but this was in Ireland, and they were doing a race there, and this is from a couple years ago. I was watching it recently, but the race was from a couple years ago. But I went back and looked up the names of some of the people in there, and yeah, no, it's motorcycle racing. I just looked it up. At least that's what I found. Let me see what else I can find with that. So, Carretera del Diablo, Espinazo del Diablo Carretera. Let's see what we find when we do that. Diablo Carretera. And let's see, that's between Mazatlan, Durango. And what kind of racing did they do here? They did... yeah, motorcycle racing. Oh god, motorcycle racing. Oh, like I said, motorcycle racing is horrifying. But like I was saying, so I was watching this race in Ireland. It was in Ireland. It took place a couple years ago, and they were just doing a replay of it. I looked up the people who were in that, like the top 3 finishers of that race. 2 of them had died. 2 of them died in that same year. Motorcycle racing is insane. It is lethal, and it terrifies the shit out of me. Everything about it just makes me just question the sanity of somebody who gets on that suicidal crotch rocket and hurtles along down mountain roads at God knows how fast. Because it seems like as soon as you get on that bike, a clock starts ticking. And once that clock is ticking, it's really just a matter of time until you're dead. That shit is terrifying. absolutely terrifying. Because at least in a car, in a properly set up race car, yeah, you're going really fast, and you know, crashes are nasty, but you're generally gonna have a roll cage, some kind of harness on top of, you know, your Nomex, your helmet, and everything else. You've got a Hans device, you've got a harness, you've got a roll cage, if not a full-blown safety cell, stuff that'll keep you alive in a crash, and does a pretty good job of it. But on a motorcycle, it's just you, your helmet, and your wits. Motorcycle racers, Dusk. Motorcycle racers have no sanity. Those people are insane. Because like I said, in a motorcycle crash, all you have, especially at the speeds these guys are going, all you have is your wits, your helmet, and maybe a little bit of padding in your suit. And that's it. That's all that separates you from the road. And a lot of the time, it's hardly enough to stop you from getting thrown around like a rag doll and leaving the place with more than a few broken bones. So, yeah, no, I question the sanity of motorcycle racers. Those people are brave as hell and crazy. They're absolutely crazy. And I just have to sit here and wonder, what are they, like, what drives someone to choose motorcycle racing in particular? What drives someone to do that? Because again, that is a choice that a lot of people make, and we can see that by just how many of them end up getting killed by it. Anyways, here we go back along towards turn 5. This is 5. Along here, rotate the car, come back up, downshift, because yeah, we want to be in second on the exit. We don't want to be in third. That lugs the engine. Thanks for the stretch, Dusk. Thanks for that. Thanks for all of those redeems. And yeah, you know, you're probably right. It is that feeling of, it's, you know, like you said, all the things that make me think they're crazy are also probably the same reasons they think it's exciting. The thought of being, you know, this close to death, that I got this close to dying, and yet I'm still here. That is arguably, I mean, that can be addictive. That can be a rush. But then, you know, you keep, and every time you get a little closer, 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 and then eventually you get so close that you actually are dead. That's what happens to a lot of these guys anyways. Is, like I said, you know, you end up doing this long enough, and then it turns out you actually are dead. You're not just that close to death, you're dead. You flew too close to the sun. Your name is Icarus, and you are no more. But still, that's a particularly crazy way to go. Just because, again, like I said, the other thing about motorcycles is, I'm going to reiterate, there is nothing between you and whatever else is around you. It's not just when you're in a crash. It's also when you're, you know, just on a motorcycle. The world is whipping by so fast. Everything's just disappearing all around you into a blur. You don't even have the time to think about what you're doing. You just have to react. You know, I put it that way. It sounds kind of cool, actually. God damn it. Here I am talking about how these people are crazy, and then I immediately make it just sound cool to myself. And I'm like, wait, what the hell am I doing? Okay, this will be the last 2 laps. 10 laps out of these, we'll see what kind of results we get. Okay. Oh, this lap's gonna be bad. This lap is gonna be terrible already. Holy shit. But we caught the slide. We caught the slide. And that's a big deal. Being able to catch your slides and control oversteer is, aside from just drifting, that is a huge deal in any sort of motorsport. Because a lot of the time, when you're at these speeds, you're at the very, very, very limited grip, and you're dancing with the car. You are moving, you know, you are moving it, you are catching those slides, you are controlling them, and you are keeping them from getting too far, because that's how you go fast. You go fast by letting the car slip a little. Just enough. You let the car slip just enough that you carry more speed around the corner, but not so much that you actually go into a full-blown drift. Because once that happens, that's when you start slowing down. It's fun. Oh, it's a lot of fun. But like I said, that's what slows you down. You want to just be sliding just enough that you're going around that corner faster than you would without the slide. That is the secret of rotation. That is the entire technique, and that is something that so much of motorsport, and not just motorsport, that's so much of driving fast is built around. Keeping that back end under control, even though it's stepping out just a bit. It's how do you keep it from stepping out too far? How do you keep your speed up while you're doing it? That's the entire game. Ooh, 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 ooh. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And lap 9 is a 2:08.9. Basically a 2:09. So this will be our last lap. Lap 10. Let's see what time we get this time. Come around the Andretti hairpin as before. First apex. Ooh, we missed the second apex. Gah! So then we continue down this way, down towards turn 3. The Andretti hairpin is technically 2 corners. Ooh, ooh, yeah, no, maybe in second. Don't go up to third. Ooh, this is going to be a quick one, it looks like. Or at the very least, early impressions are good. Turn 4. We didn't actually need to brake there. That's going to cost us. Hopefully, we'll be able to catch up on that on turn 5 and 6, though. Especially since turn 5 and 6 are our setup for the corkscrew. Oh, we got it this time. We made sure we're in the right gear. And we come up this way. Come through here. Up to turn 6. We are a little bit behind our best lap. But it's looking like we'll be able to make up for it. Yeah. Okay, so up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew we go. Let's make sure we get our braking markers right this time, because that's going to be one of the things that determines how well we do this corner. Brake here, don't brake too hard. First corner, early apex. Second corner, late apex. Come out, accelerate onto turn 9. No, down the rainy curve, and the rainy curve takes us to turn 10. Ooh, 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 we almost lost it there, but we're still up by about 0.3. Can we get back the time we lost, though? Can we? Yes, we can. Through turn 10, real nice and clear. And now, here comes turn 11. This time, let's not get caught in the kitty litter, because that's going to really determine how well this final lap ends up being. And we are a whole second up. Oh my God. Nice. Well done, actually. 2:06 is our best. So, our benchmark time in the Mazda Miata NA at Laguna Seca will be, hold on, let me just write these things down. Go open up Notepad so that I have these. No. I want the notepad. So, Laguna Seca, Mazda MX-5 NA, Mazda Miata NA, benchmark time 2 minutes 10 seconds at Laguna Seca. Save this here, saving this for a later plan. Saving this. Got it. Laguna Seca benchmark time. Oh, we're gonna have the camera act a little funky. Okay, so that is our benchmark time for the Mazda Miata NA. That is cockpit view, no traction control. Well, there's no traction control on the Miata. So cockpit view. Car has no traction control. SV tires, which are the 1990s tires. Just to make sure, we're going to restart the session and check. Tires, street 90s SV. So let's write these little details down, because these are going to be relevant. Mazda Miata NA, manual transmission, shifting, SV tires. What am I gonna need? Noon. And I think the weather is windy. Let's just write all that down. That is our first benchmark lap in the Miata. Noon, windy, track, optimum. So those are the relevant details for anybody who for later. Next car will be the same original game, no DLC, no mods, because that I guess I might as well just dispense with the trying to create a sense of mystery and anticipation. I am going to set these laps, and then I would like to see anybody who is interested come along, get Assetto Corsa. Get the there's a couple of essential mods you're going to need. Most people who play Assetto Corsa know about them, but if you're new to this, you're going to be wondering, why does my Assetto Corsa look so different from what you get when you buy this game? So there's a couple things you're going to want to do. The first is Content Manager. Content Manager changes the user interface from what is admittedly a somewhat clunky and dated setup to a much more modern, much smoother, modern, but much smoother setup. Going from the default Assetto Corsa launcher to the Content Manager alone will make your user experience so much nicer, but it won't change how the game looks. For that, you're going to need the Custom Shaders Pack. Custom Shaders Pack, as soon as you install Content Manager, you should just be able to install it by default. It should, I believe, you go to, let me just do that, let me show you for you. So you go here, you get Content Manager, you install it, you tell Content Manager where your Assetto Corsa install is. Then you would go Settings. From there, you go to Custom Shaders Pack. And then I think what it should do is it should just say install Custom Shaders Pack. Do that, and now your game is going to not only look, but also just drive a lot better, because in addition to the graphical overhauls of the custom shaders patch, there's also quite some significant tweaking to the physics. Nothing that's like, gonna completely change how the game feels, but not completely change the game, but it's going to feel tighter. It's going to feel a lot nicer as a result. The other mod I would very much recommend. There are two other mods. These are not necessary, but I would highly recommend installing them. The first is called Soul, as in SOL. Let me just type that out for you guys. This is called Soul. Now, Soul is essentially introduces dynamic weather and some other really nice little, basically, to how the game handles weather. So the guy who actually makes the custom shaders patch is currently working on implementing rain in Assetto Corsa. It's not done yet, but once it's done, once rain has been implemented, Soul will really come into its own, because Soul will, like I said, it creates much more dynamic, much more realistic weather, and when you combine that with rain that's coming with the future iterations of the custom shaders patch, that's going to give you a lot more options to how you set up race conditions. But that's enough talk. Let's get on to the next car. The next car will be the BMW. Ooh, this is hard, actually. We have a few options. We were just in the Mazda MX-5. And the Mazda MX-5 is a really nice little sports car. Not a lot of power, easy to drive, easy to learn, and gives you a lot of basic fundamental knowledge. Question is, what should we do next? Because there's a lot of options here. Do we want to make a more gradual step with something like the BMW 1M? Ooh, this is actually hard, because we do want to establish a progression for these benchmark laps. We want to establish progressively increasing speed and difficulty. Yes, I am, Dusk. And here's the best part. I'm not just challenging you to beat my times, because these are not my best times. These are benchmark times. I am adjusting them a little bit. I am not just challenging you to beat my times. I will teach you. I will teach you how to drive in Assetto Corsa. and I will walk you through the increasing progression of difficulty until you're able to match or beat those times. That is what I'm putting out. Is, do you want to learn? Do you want to learn how to drive fast? That is the question. That is what I'm putting out here. Not just challenging you to beat these times, but also I will train you to beat those times. Because I want to get this going. I want to get, like, I want to get this I want to get things going. So, let's see, what should we do next? Not this. That comes later. Ooh, do 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 do. Do 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 do. I know what we're gonna do next. The Lotus Elise. Now, the Lotus Elise has, actually, let me see how much power. 217 as opposed to the Miata NA's 130. So the Lotus Elite has about twice the power, but it's still a fairly light, not terribly powerful car. However, it does have one significant difference. Rather than its engine being up in front, it's behind the driver. This is not a rear engine, but this is a mid-engine car. But by being lighter, more powerful, and having a better setup suspension, it'll still be significantly faster. Additionally, because it's mid-engine, it's also going to be significantly more difficult to drive. You have to be on the ball. You have to be paying attention to the tail more. Because in a mid-engine car, rather than the engine balancing out the front end to help you control a slide, now the engine is working against you. It almost behaves like a pendulum. So, keep down the pit speed limit as we come out for the first lap. And coming off the pit lane. This way, through here. Out onto the track. This is our out lap. This won't really count for much, but it gets us started. Now, you're going to see how differently this car behaves. Notice how it understeers a bit more. It's not nearly as... It's not as willing to rotate. That's because before the car starts to slide, the weight of the engine being further back keeps those rear tires planted. This means the handling of the car is much more neutral. It's much more... How do I put this? Much more planted. The car isn't as tail happy. This can be both a good and a bad thing. Oh, by the way, let's turn that off. Road car traction control and race car traction control are two different things. And road car traction control isn't honestly all that good. We do want the ABS turned on because here's the thing. The car has ABS. We're going to use the ABS just because it makes our lives a bit easier. Especially for these first few laps, which are more focused on learning the track. ABS will help us stay out of trouble. Keep us from, well, as the name suggests, anti-lock brakes. Keeps us from locking up the tires. And gets us, whoa. Second gear. Anti-lock brakes keep us from locking up the tires, overheating them, and overall just make braking less difficult. First flying lap, Andretti hairpin. Here we go. Through this way, along here. Let the car rotate just a little bit, coming out this way, coming out of the corner into turn 3. Turn 3, we're going to want to early apex just to keep the Keep the tail under control. And on we go to turn 4. Turn 4, late apex, coming out, accelerate, accelerate, accelerate. Actually, I don't know. Was that a late apex? No, probably wasn't. It really wasn't a late apex. Turn 5. Brake, 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 brake. Late apex, turn 5. Coming out, accelerating up towards turn 6. As we come to turn 6, come into the bridge. You can start to see how a mid-engine car behaves differently. It's more reluctant to let the tail out, but when the tail does come out, it's a lot worse. Or rather, it's a lot more work to keep it under control. A lot more work to keep a mid-engine car under control once the tail comes loose. Because like I said, that engine isn't balancing things out anymore. Now it's starting, although not nearly as much as it would in a rear-engine car, to act like the end of a pendulum. Now, depending on how good you are at keeping that pendulum effect under control, it can actually be a benefit because it helps the car rotate, which, again, like I said before, rotation is potentially useful for coming around certain corners. So here we are. First flying lap is a 1:52. Let's see how many more. Let's see how that time changes as we start to learn the track. Learn the track in this car. So Andretti hairpin, go, 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 go. Ooh, we need to exit that corner in second. Keep that in mind. Along this way, out of turn 3, we come to turn 4. Turn 4, late apex. Most of the time, so I should explain those terms I'm using. Early apex, late apex. Early apex, so as you know, you might have noticed, I'm not just going down the middle of the track. You're probably already familiar with racing lines from other games, but I should start to explain some of these terms because the apex, the innermost part of your racing line, is actually a moving target. You aren't always going to be aiming for the same place. A lot of the times, depending on what you're trying to do, it can actually be beneficial to push that apex up earlier or pull it back or send it back later. Like for here on the corkscrew, the first half of the corkscrew is very much an early apex. That is me tucking in, getting ready for the second corner. It's for setup. On the other hand, as we come up to turn 10, you'll notice I take a late apex. The late apex gives you more time where you're accelerating. That difference in acceleration can makes that corner significantly faster. And now, which sort of line you use really depends not just on the corner, but on the car as well. The late apex is particularly useful in cars that you don't want to rotate excessively. Actually, no, I'm trying to get the late apex. Okay, so I should step back, breathe. Okay. Early versus late apex. And what does each one benefit you? How does each one benefit you? So, like I said before, as you come around a corner, one of the things you're doing is you're taking that line that minimizes the amount of distance you cross and the amount of steering input you put in. That way you have more speed. There are three parts to a racing line. So excuse me, I'm going to open up MS Paint to explain this better. Because I think a visual aid might be useful here. Let's go to OBS, window capture. Where are you, window capture? There it is. Window cap, not that window cap, this window capture. And we're going to open up MS Paint. And I'm going to use MS Paint here real quickly to explain the the different kinds of racing. So I'm going to draw a generic corner. This is our corner. See, right turn, tightens at the end. Now I'm going to use colors to represent racing line. First, I'm going to close off, but I'm so not used to not having middle mouse move stuff. I forget that Paint doesn't do that. Okay, so let's just close this off so I can color in. Once that's colored in, we'll continue from. This is our corner. Right-hander, tightens towards the end, but it's generally pretty. Next, we're going to go colors. Just a smidge for ability's sake. The gap. Oh, there's the gap. Okay. So let's close that off real quick. Hold on one second. I gotta fix things. Let's do this again. That one. This one. So this is our corner. As you can see, right-hander with a fairly tightens towards the end, but it's generally fairly even. Middle marker lines. And now I'm going to explain three different kinds of three different kinds of racing lines you would use here, and why you would pick one over the other. So we're going to start with the most basic. That is the geometric line. The geometric line is basically, this is sort of going straight from the outside of the corner to the middle to the outside again. This is as basic as a racing line gets. So, your basic racing line. This is your entry. No. That's your basic racing line. Not like that. That's your basic racing line. This is your entry. This is your apex. This is your exit. And the idea here is that this is essentially your geometrically ideal racing line. Probably more like this, actually, thinking about it. Like, not that. Or like, no, I can do this. I know I can do this. I've done it before. Basically like that. That's your geometrically ideal racing line. Crude representation, but it works with visual aid. Now, there are two other ways you can approach this. Say that, like I said, say that this corner opens up into a long straight. You may not actually want to take this line. What you might want to do instead is what's called what I called a late apex. A late apex is when you do this. And the reason you do this is because this way you spend more time accelerating. And that acceleration will help you get more speed on that long straight. On the other hand, let's say this right-hander then goes into an immediate left-hand corner. You may not want to do this. You might want to do instead early apex. That will set you up. Essentially, you tuck in early. You tuck in early so that come to the next corner, you're already set up to take its apex. These are your three basic racing lines. Geometric is your late, middle, and early apex. However, there's also a fourth type. And this fourth type is primarily used, let's say the track is wet. So you have a lot less grip. Or there's dust on the track or something like that. Basically, something that makes the car slide more. This is a situation where instead of one of these three lines, you would take what's called karting line. Named as such because it's what's used in. This is how you would drive, for example, a go-kart. Because the thing about go-karts is their tires are solid rubber or their tires are very crude. And those tires going to much more easily than the tires of a car. However, again, you can take advantage of this. You drive the way the tires let you. But the karting line is designed to accommodate the more slidey behavior of go-karts. And it's a great way to accommodate that same sort of behavior on a car on a wet or otherwise slippery track. It looks like you're almost going straight down the middle. It's because you kind of are. But the idea is, as you're going down here, the car is rotating. The car is sliding, the stepping out. And you're staying closer to the center of the track to give yourself more control. And like I said, these are your four basic racing lines. Try these out. Have rectangle, fill, solid color. This Xbox go blue. we're gonna put names down. Early apex. Mid apex. Red. Red. Late apex. Then 4. Karting. These are your 4 basic racing lines. Each one own use, and it's really the matter of judgment and thinking about the track. Decide when you would use which line. You have to pay attention to how the car handles on the track, pay attention to how the track is laid out, and based on those 2 factors, decide which racing line is the preferred line for that corner. So we that now because we're done with that little lecture, and we continue onwards. So Lotus Elise at Laguna Seca, coming up to turn 5. Turn 5 is a left, leads into a long straight. So ideally, you'd want to do a late apex here, because again, you want to spend more time accelerating. As you might have noticed, I messed that up. Actually, no. Turn 6 is the one that leads onto the Rahal straight. Yeah, I messed that up horrifically. So we'll come back around and re-explain that corner re-explain that corner and when we come to it. But here, for example, the corkscrew, 2 corners. Start with an early apex on the first half, then we ride that early apex to finish off the second half of the corner. Onto the rainy curve, use a mid apex here because while there's a straight, it's not that long particularly, and that cuts the distance we cover. It means we have to steer less. And then turn 10 is a late apex onto the long straight here towards turn 11, which due to its sharpness, we take as an early apex to keep the car under control. And then we don't do that. We come into it in second rather than in third, so that way the car doesn't try and stall on us. And we continue onwards. Back towards the Andretti hairpin. Remember, this is 2 corners, so early apex, come out, ride the apex, continuing onwards through the second turn. 2 apeces through there, coming to turn 3. Turn 3 is a late apex. We accelerate down towards turn 4. As there's not, like I said, not a particularly long straight here, but there is a straight here. Turn 4, again, late apex, prepping, setting ourselves up for this straight. Coming along underneath the Mother's Bridge to the left-hander of turn 5. Turn 5 will be an early apex, getting ready for turn 6. Up this way, through here, along this way, up through to turn 6. Turn 6 is the late apex, so that we accelerate. We have more acceleration down the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. And like I said before, the corkscrew will be an early apex to get the first half of the corner, followed by just ride that corner down. A bit of a karting line because you're in an unstable configuration. The rainy curve, mid apex, keep it going, keep it smooth. On to turn 10. Turn 10 is a late apex where we then proceed to accelerate down towards turn 11. You keep your speed up, you keep going, you brake between the 1 and 2 markers, go down to second gear on the left-hander, try and stay out of the kitty litter unlike me just now, and continue up towards the line. And now we do it all over again. Let's see what kind of time we get here at Laguna Seca. Oh, yeah, we're braking way too early there. So early apex on the first half. Ride that through to get the second apex. Coming along now towards turn 3. At turn 3, we do a late apex so that we accelerate more, pick up more speed towards turn 4. Turn 4 will also continue the pattern and be a second late apex to maximize our acceleration and better take advantage of the straight that leads us into turn 5. Turn 5, under the mother's bridge, we brake just before the 2 marker. Early apex towards turn 6. Under the VP bridge, and then comes turn 6. Oh, we really messed that up. Wow, we really messed that one up. We braked way too early. We were in the wrong gear. But it looks like we're still doing better than we were before. That's actually quite nice to know. So, corkscrew! Early apex, come along this way. Down through here. Basically sort of a karting line on the second half of the corner because the car is unstable and a little bit slippery as you come down that hill. Turn 10, late apex. Okay, we went off into the kid leader. Shit. Oh, this lap's no good. This lap is a complete loss. Lovely. Absolutely wonderful. I am a great driver, aren't I, guys? Great driver, aren't I, chat? Absolutely best in the world. Oh, next lap. Let's just move on from this lap, shall we? Just forget this lap happened. And so again, Andretti hairpin. Going to hear me say a lot of the same things over and over again. That's because, frankly, getting it down to memory will help you remember how to think about the track. So, early apex on the first half of the Andretti hairpin. Ride that out for a mid apex on the second half. Turn 3 is a late apex. Accelerate down under the Cooper Tires bridge towards turn 4. Turn 4, you'll repeat the late apex. And use that late apex to accelerate down towards turn 5. At turn 5, you're going to continue. Go under the mother's bridge. Keep right. Brake just before the 2 marker. Go for an early apex. Come along here, up the hill towards the VP bridge. Onto turn 6. Turn 6 will be a late apex. Second gear. Accelerate up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. At the corkscrew, first half will be an early apex, tuck in for the corner overall. Through here like that, ride out the instability, continue along the rainy curve where you're going to take a mid apex, nothing too aggressive, just keep it nice and smooth till turn 10. Turn 10 will be late apex. Accelerate up towards turn 11. Turn 11 is very sharp. Because of its sharpness, we're actually not going to want a late apex, even though it opens out into a straight. That sharpness means the late apex is not exactly a great idea. All it's going to do is get us off into the kitty litter. So, where does that leave us? 151.442. So let's see how far we can improve on that. Andretti hairpin, as before. Early apex. Ride it. Wrong gear. Coming out onto turn 3. Turn 3 is, in fact, a third gear corner. So ride that. Oh, God. We're out into the dust. We're out into the dirt. That was a mistake. The late apex on turn 4. That makes up some of the time we lost by messing up turn 3. Onto the mother's bridge. Brake just short of that marker. Early apex on turn 5. Continuing up the hill underneath the VP bridge till we hit turn 6. Turn 6 will be a late apex. I think we braked too early. Yeah, we braked too early. Anyways, turn 6, late apex, up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. The corkscrew, as before, early apex on the first half, brake here, second gear, down, just ride the corner out, just like that, nice and smooth. Rainy curve, third gear, mid apex, keep it smooth, power off just a little bit. Turn 10, late apex, accelerate. Turn 11, brake here, early apex, second gear, and back towards the start-finish line. Starting to think. see where that puts us. 150. 150.5. Oh, braking way too early. Braking way too early. Don't do that. And through that corner. We're through that corner. On to turn 3. As before, turn 3. Late apex. So that we maximize our acceleration underneath the Cooper Tires bridge. Get more speed as we go through the Cooper Tires bridge. Turn 4. Another late apex here for the same reason. Follow the straight until we get to turn 5. At turn 5, pass underneath the Mother's Bridge, and then we start braking just before the 2 marker. Early apex on the... Ooh, yeah, don't do that, by the way. Don't go off the track like there. But early apex, up the hill, underneath the VP bridge, towards turn 6. Turn 6, second gear, late apex, up the Ray Hall straight. Remember to shift. Don't get stuck in a gear. That's how you lose time. Go. Ooh, wow, we really messed this map up. Holy shit. We have royally messed up this lap. This lap is all kinds of wrong. What are we doing? This lap done. Coming along this way. Through to turn 11. Turn 11, like we said before. Second gear. Early apex. Okay, we're good. This lap is going to be slower than the last one, but we know why. We went off at turns 5. We went off at turns 3 and 6. 3 and 5. And we braked way too early for the Andretti hairpin. That is a bad habit that I noticed we have. And something I'm going to have to figure out how to not do in the future. I think I know what it is. I'm used to doing this track in much faster cars. And I'm braking where that car would brake rather than where this car would brake. Because of that, I'm losing time. Although, it looks like this is going to be an okay lap regardless. So that's turn 4. Coming up towards turn 5, under the Mother's Bridge. We don't brake there, we brake here. Stay underneath, stay on the track limits. Continuing up towards turn 6. Under the VP Bridge we go. Ooh, we're onto something. We're onto something. Oh my god, we're actually gaining time now. Look at that. Would you look at that? We're up by half a second. That's actually really nice. Early apex on the first half of the corkscrew. Accelerate down. Accelerate down. Accelerate, 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 accelerate. Keep that speed up. Mid apex on the rainy curve. Keep it nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Turn 10. Late apex. Accelerate, 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 accelerate. Remember to shift. Coming to turn 11. Early apex. Second gear. And across the line. In just a moment anyways. On 151. Let's see if we can't catch our best lap. That's going to be the real challenge here. Can we catch that lap? If not, why not? So, don't go off into the sand. That's the first thing. The first lesson, don't go off into the sand. Remember, keep your speed up. So, late apex out of turn 3, coming into turn 4. Do the same thing, late apex, so that we accelerate down the straight towards turn 5. Long. We hit under the Mother's Bridge. Brake here. Early apex. Into the straight. Isn't terribly long, but the early apex still helps us out by keeping us a bit under control rather than losing the car. Then late apex out of turn 6 up the Ray Hall straight towards the corkscrew. Holy shit, we are gaining a lot of time here. Early apex on the first half of the corkscrew. accelerate out, continue down to the rainy curve. Ooh, watch your gears, watch your gears, watch your gears. Late apex on turn 10. Accelerate, 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 accelerate. Continuing through towards turn 11. Early apex. Make sure you're in the right gear. And let's see what kind of time we get here. We are at a 1:55.522. Okay, this will be our last lap of Laguna Seca and the Lotus Elise. Let's see what kind of time we end up getting from this. Ooh, we are not doing good. That's the first thing I noticed. This is going to be a terrible lap. I'm already feeling it. God damn. Second gear, late apex out of turn 3. Oh god, we went into the sand. Catch the slide, catch the slide, catch the slide. Through here, along this way. Up out of turn 4, which is a sloppy line. Oh my god. Turn 5. Early apex, up through to the straight into turn 6. Turn up straight underneath the VP bridge towards turn 6. Turn 6, late apex, brake hard, accelerate out of there, up to the Ray Hall straight. Take advantage of the extra acceleration to gain more speed. This is not looking good though. This is looking really sloppy. Corkscrew, early apex, accelerate, 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 out into the rainy curve. Rainy curve, middle apex, keep it smooth, keep it smooth. Coming out there, towards turn 10, turn 10. Late apex, second gear, coming out, accelerate, 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 on towards turn 11. Turn 11, early apex. Accelerate out of the apex, don't get too caught in the kitty litter, and keep on heading out back towards the line. And that is Laguna Seca in the Lotus Elise. Or at least, that's an attempt at Laguna Seca in the Lotus Elise. So, close that out. Let's mark this time down. So, that is Lotus Elise. Measure. Not read. Can we show our lap times? 148 was 1:55.22 was our best. That was semi-slick, manual shifting, all these manual shifting. Semi-slick tires. Noon. Windy. Optimum Track. ABS on. Traction control off. Next. So that's the Lotus Elise. Now we're going to step things up a bit. We're going to be leaving the realm of... Actually, no. We're going to be making our last stop in the realm of the road car before we get onto something more serious. And to do that, I'm going to take out the... Actually, this is a really good question. What should I use? Not a Lotus. Not that, not that, not that. Actually, I know what we're going to use. The Mclaren MP412C. Now, this has a lot of the same things going on as the Lotus Elise. However, it's mid-engine, all those things. But notice the increase in power. 616 as opposed to the roughly 200 of the Lotus Elise. This is a threefold increase in power, and you will feel that. This is also going to be the last time we get ABS, probably. But let's go. That's enough holding. That's enough holding you in suspense. Let's get these laps taken care of. See just how fast we can go around Laguna Seca. And okay, make sure that's all set up. Check our tires. Semi-slicks. Okay. Turn off the traction control. Leave the ABS on because it makes our life a lot easier. Notice how the power you can already see the difference in power. I'm having to catch the car a lot more, even just out of the pits. That is the effect that that much more power has. So we come out of the pit lane, and this is our out lap. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, we don't actually have to do that now. So, something else you'll notice that I've been doing this whole time in the Lotus and the Mazda is I've been cutting the throttle whenever I'm shifting up and blipping just tapping the throttle whenever I shift down. In this car, I don't have to do either of those. The car does it for you. That's just a functionality of the car and its transmission. Whoa! You know what I mean? How I said that, you're going to feel the extra speed that comes with the increased power of something, with the threefold increase in power. This is what I'm talking about. This car is a lot faster than the Mazda or the Lotus, and faster in a straight line, I should say. There's a lot more power than either of those cars, and you feel it. The car is going to really try and get away from you. You have to be on the ball and catch it when it does. So, but a lot of the same techniques still apply. Early apex on the corkscrew, ride that out. Your lines don't really change much, even though the car is behaving differently. The car is different, but a lot of the lines are the same. And that's because that's Laguna Seca. I chose this track for a reason. It's a challenging track, but not impossible. It's something you can really get a rhythm into. Get a feel for. So that's our out lap. Remember, out laps don't really count. And along here we go. So Andretti hairpin, early apex, catch the slide. That difference in power is really something you feel. Oh my God. Ooh. Late apex on turn 3. Repeat the same on turn 4. Catch the slide, catch the rotation. Continuing onwards through to turn 5. Brake earlier because this car has way more power than the Lotus. Early apex. Out, up the straight, up the straight, up the straight, up the straight, up the straight. Go, 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 go. Then here, early apex on turn 6, up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. Under the Mazda bridge, check your markers. Brake just before the 2 marker. Early apex on the first half of the corkscrew. Kind of just ride it out on the second half. Keep it smooth, keep it smooth, keep it smooth. Catch the slide, catch the slide. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. That's really not good. Coming along through here towards turn 10. Second gear, late apex. Accelerate towards turn 11. Don't let the rumble strip catch you. Second gear, turn 11, early apex. And back up the back straight and across the line. That's our first lap, our first flying lap. So once again, early apex on the Andretti hairpin. Second gear, catch the second corner. Continuing up towards turn 3. Brake, 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 brake. Late apex. Accelerate out onto the straight under the Cooper Tires bridge towards turn 4. You're going to want to repeat that here. Same sort of late apex, because you've got another big straight coming up. Go through to the Mother's Bridge. Brake, brake, brake earlier. Brake a lot earlier than you would in the Lotus. Early apex, up the straight towards the VP Bridge. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. We spun. We just spun again. Okay, so, yeah, no, don't make that mistake. Really don't make that mistake. Coming along here, up the Ray Hall straight, towards the corkscrew. When we get to the corkscrew, brake, 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 brake. Second gear, early apex, and completely mangle that corner. Go out into the kitty litter, question all of your life decisions, wonder how you got here in the first place, decide you're definitely, no, realize you're never going to be a good driver. Why do you even bother? Turn 10, turn 10, turn 10. Ooh, and yeah, no, like I said, out into the kitty litter we go. Oh god, the tires are cold, 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 the tires are cold. That's half our problem. I just realized the tires are freezing. Tires are entirely cold. The tires have no heat in them. And as a result, that's one of the reasons we're slipping and sliding everywhere. Oh god, it's horrifying. Jesus Christ, how horrifying. So, turn, Andretti hairpins, turns 1 and 2. Bring it out, early apex, catch the car. Don't be in third gear when you go around this corner, because that'll really make the engine hate you. Come out towards turn 3, late apex, onto the straight. Cooper Tires bridge. Turn 4, late apex once again. Accelerate out onto the long straight. Don't go out in the sand like I just did. Long straight towards the mother's bridge. Brake right as you pass underneath it. Early apex into turn 5. Ugh. Through this onto turn 6. Turn 6, late apex. Accelerate up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. Coming under the Mazda bridge, you're going to want to brake as soon as you pass underneath it. Second gear, early apex. Ride it out, keep it smooth, catch the slide onto the rainy curve. That was actually a good execution of the corkscrew. Way better than our last lap. Holy shit, that last lap was a nightmare. Turn 10, late apex. Feed the throttle in gently. Coming into turn 11, early apex. Use the throttle to keep the car just a little bit lively. And away, and then on we come back to the final straight. 144.171. Third gear, second gear, early apex. Catch the car, keep it under control. Out of the second turn. Coming towards turn 3. Second gear, late apex. Catch the slide. Don't let the car don't let the car take you where it wants to go. Make the car go where you want it to go. Turn 4, late apex, just as before. Let the car rotate a little bit. Keep it just a little bit lively. That'll help you get through the straight. Carry more speed underneath the mother's bridge. Brake as soon as you pass the bridge. Early apex at turn 5. Left, 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 left. Power on, power on, power on, power on, power on, power on. Go underneath the VP bridge. Late apex at turn 6. Up the Rahal straight you go. Accelerate, accelerate. Just keep accelerating until you get to the Mazda bridge. As soon as you pass the Mazda bridge, start braking. Third gear, second gear, early apex on the corkscrew. Don't mess it up like I'm probably about to. Oh shit, we actually managed to survive that. Not a great line, but oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. We lost a lot of time there. Rainy curve, second gear. Accelerate towards turn 10. Turn 10. Brake, brake, brake. Second gear, late apex. Coming right in that way, just like that. Towards turn 11. Brake at the 2 marker. Second gear, early apex. Accelerate out. Don't get in the kitty litter like I just did. That is a terrible mistake. Why am I even trying? And across the line, 1 minute 42.1. Third gear, second gear. Andretti hairpin, early apex. Coming around this way, just like that. Right up the second apex. Accelerate as soon as you're clear of the apex. Towards turn 3. Turn 3. Spin out. Look like an idiot. Look like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. question your life decisions, regret everything that's led you up to this point. Okay, back along we go. So turn 4, late apex, accelerate out towards the mother's bridge. As soon as you pass the mother's bridge, start braking for turn 5. Hard braking. Let it up, early apex out of turn 5. Go out into the sand, go into the gravel. More regrets. Okay, turn 6. Try and make up for your terrible mistakes leading up to this point. Late apex, accelerate up the Rahal straight. Go. Brake as soon as you pass under the Mazda bridge. Hard braking. Let up as the tires start to act up. Corkscrew. Sloppy execution, but could be worse. You didn't go off this time. You're actually making progress. You might actually make something of yourself at this point. So, turn 10. Right hand, second gear, late apex. Accelerate towards turn 11. Brake at the 2 marker. Second gear, early apex. Just clip the little post. You're going to knock it over. Accept that's a fact of life. That's just how this corner works. Jesus Christ, these tires are ice right now. I hate it so much. It's like I'm driving on glass. So, here we go. Early apex. As before. Let the car rotate just a bit. Catch it if it starts to act up. Just starts to act up too much, though. Turn 3. Brake at the 1 marker. Late apex. Accelerate out towards the Cooper Tires bridge. Into turn 4. Once again, late apex. Let the car rotate a little. Onto the straight. Towards the mother's bridge. As you come across the mother's bridge, brake. Hard. Downshift. Second gear. Early apex. Turn 5. Just like that. Turn 6. Brake here. Late apex. Accelerate up the Rahal straight. Towards the Mazda, whatever the hell that Mazda banner, yeah, towards the Mazda signs. As you cross them, start braking hard. Take full advantage of the fact you have anti-lock brakes here. Spin out and look like a fool. Okay. Reverse. Coming out this way, along through, underneath the WeatherTech bridge. Towards the rainy curve, just like before. And make a right on, turn 10. Late apex, accelerate out. Try and keep up that speed that you completely lost on the corkscrew. Early apex, second gear, turn 11. Onto the back straight and across the line. Hopefully this next one will look better. Ugh. Okay, Andretti hairpin. Brake. Second gear. Early apex. Coming along. Ride it out. Tuck in. Just like that. Accelerate out as soon as you're clear of the... Spin and look like a fool again. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Just spin out. That's entirely what I came here to do. I came here to spin out and look like a fool in front of everyone. Turn 4. Second gear, late apex, catch the slide. Bring it up just like that. Going down the straight towards the mother's bridge. Brake hard. Second gear, early apex. Up the straight, catch the slide. Car's trying to step out on you, don't let it. Up towards the VP bridge. Braking. Third gear, late apex. Up the Rahal straight. That should have been second gear, but it's fine. Up towards the Mazda sign. Brake. Second gear, early apex. Up, down this way. Yeah, up, down. Yeah. Up the first, no, down the hill. Rainy curve, third gear. Let the car rotate just a bit. Then you hit here. Right, turn 10, late apex. Accelerate. Turn 11, brake hard, second gear, early apex. Don't fuck it up like I just did. And across the line. Yeah, no. Don't spin. That's the first thing as always. Don't spin. Brake, 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 brake. Second gear. Andretti hairpin. Completely missed the apex. Catch the second one, though. Okay, so we're fine. Turn 3. Brake hard. Second gear. Late apex. Accelerate out onto the coupe. Out towards the Cooper Tires bridge. Brake just before the 1 marker. Again, repeat the same thing. Late apex. Down the straight towards turn 5. Pass underneath the Mother's Bridge. And as soon as you hit the Mother's Bridge, I braked a little earlier there, but that's fine. Early apex on turn 5. Catch the slide, catch the slide. Don't go out into the sand like I just did. A little bit better than I've done before, but yeah, no, you generally want to avoid that. Turn 6. Late apex. Don't fuck it up like I just did right there. You want to be accelerating all the way up the Rahal Straight. I just lost a whole second because of my terrible, terrible, terrible braking there. Along this way towards the rainy curve. Rainy curve. Keep it smooth. Let the car rotate just a bit. Just like that. Turn 10. Very late apex. Accelerate hard towards turn 11. On the other hand, turn 11. Brake just before the 2 marker. Second gear. Early apex. And out through towards the back straight. And across the line. And those are our laps in the 12C. Based off of all of that, they're going to go back to pits. Can't look at our times here. This is something I should have done before. Our best times each sector are relevant. Based off of those, we'll be able to establish what kind of lap we'll set as our benchmark. So our best lap, the last one we did was a 141.532. Sector 1 was 37 seconds. Sector 2, 34.3, which is a second slower than our best, and our Sector 2 best, 33.36. And Sector 3 is our best, 29.421. We don't want to make these benchmarks too aggressive because these are for people who are new to Assetto Corsa. But based on all that, I'm going to say that our benchmark time for Laguna Seca, Mclaren MP412C, Mclaren 12C, manual shifting, semi-slick tires, noon, windy, that way. Optimum Track, ABS on, traction control off. I forgot to write down this one, but I do know what this one is. So Lotus Elise 155. That's our benchmark. 155, 55 seconds. That's the benchmark lap. Lotus Elise. Mclaren 12C will be about a 10-second leap from that. 1 minute, 45 seconds. Now, take it another step up. We're going to go into something a little bit more interesting. This car is going to have a lot less power than the McLaren, but it's lighter, tires are slick, and its suspension is much more responsive, much more agile. That will be the Tatuus FA01. This is our next car this is our next benchmark. It's our first open wheeler as well. I don't know if this has slick tires. This thing. Yeah, they're slicks. Okay. So this is our first proper racing car. It's far from the fastest. That's on purpose. This is a car that'll really give you your first feeling of what it's like to be in something properly fast. This is something that, hold on a minute. Let me just, since I'm doing all this stuff, let me just do something real quickly. Stream manager. We're going to go to stream information. We're going to see if we can add a tag. Educational, because I am kind of teaching the track as we go along. Not just the track, but how you drive along this track. So you know what? Let's just add that tag. Why the hell not? So where were we? We are in the Tatuus FA01 on Laguna Seca. Let us begin. So like I said, this car, I believe, has a fair bit less power than the Mclaren, but its tires are slick and it's a lot lighter. This is, like I said, this is a proper race car as opposed to just really fast road car. And you're going to see how much of a difference that makes. Check our tires. Clicks medium. Okay, traction control, there is no traction control. ABS, there is no ABS. So, away we go. So, first things first, keep the car under the pit speed limit until all the way out. I know that technically we don't have to, but it'll help us keep the car under control until we're through. Especially because, remember, there's this really, really hard turn here. Very much designed to govern how fast you come out of the pits and onto the track. So, turn 3 is first corner. As before, late apex, accelerate out onto the straight, under the Cooper Tires bridge. You're immediately seeing just how much faster this car is. You're also noticing we don't have ABS and how that's affecting the braking. You're hearing those squeals. That's the brakes starting to lock as we come up to each corner. They're doing this for a couple of reasons. One, tires are cold. Cold tires have less grip than tires that have been brought up to their correct operating temperature. This is especially true for racing tires, because racing tires have much higher operating temperatures than road tires. Apex, spin out into the dust, look like an idiot. Get the car back under control. Don't. And along towards turn 10 we go. Late apex, accelerate. Brake. Second gear, early apex, through turn 11, back to the start line. And now we begin our first flying lap. Here, brake. Probably braking way too early, but matter. Early apex, through there just like that. Through to turn 3. Late apex, accelerate. Late apex again, accelerate along the straight towards turn 5. Through under the mother's bridge. We're going to brake way later in this car. Early apex, just like that. Whoa, and we just lost it. And we look like an idiot, and nobody is going to think that we know what the hell we're talking about, and everyone's going to call us a fool and just not even bother to even try, because why would they? And, okay, anyways, back through here. Turn 6. Turn 6, late apex. Accelerate up the Rahal straight. We're still going. Towards the corkscrew. Wow, we braked way too much there. That was a mess. That was an absolute mess. Rainy curve. Keep it smooth. You don't really want to rotate this car for a lot of these corners. This thing is really planted. you can feel the difference. Ooh, yeah, just like that, just like that, just like that, just like that. That is not a good lap, but it's a massive improvement over the first one. The first one was just a disaster. So through here, early apex on the Andretti hairpin. Ride that out through, tuck in. Turn 3. Third gear, late apex. Coming out of the corner, accelerate towards the Cooper Tires bridge. Onto turn 4. Hardly any braking. Fourth gear, late apex. Keep accelerating down towards the mother's bridge. Pass under it. Brake here. Early apex onto turn 5. And from there, ride up the hill under the VP bridge towards turn 6. Late apex on turn 6. Accelerate, 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 accelerate. Up towards the corkscrew. Up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. Brake, 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 brake. Second gear on the corkscrew. Early apex into the entrance. Don't let the car get away from you. It'll try and do that. This corner will destabilize pretty much anything that goes along it. It is a legitimately tricky corner. Part of the reason I chose this track as well. It's like I said, it has its trick. It has its trick, but it's generally a very nice track to learn on. And that will be a 134.429. And now you're starting to see how this car is just so much faster. Even with all of my blunders, this car is so much faster than anything we've driven before. It is a whole 10 seconds at least faster than the McLaren, despite having less power, despite being slower on the straights, despite everything. This car is so much faster. And it's so much more planted too, which is where a lot of that extra speed comes from. Part of that is just due to the downforce of it. This isn't a particularly high downforce car, but it's a lot more than pretty much any road car you're going to run into. And that makes a huge difference. Okay. Third gear, early apex. Don't let the car get away from you. Continue on down this way. Just like that. Just like that. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Turn 10, late apex, very late apex. Accelerate towards turn 11. Turn 11, very early apex. And that is a see where this lands. 130.681. So don't brake too early on the Andretti hairpin like I just did again. Early apex. Downshift mid corner. Third gear on the exit. Probably should have just been third gear all the way through, but whatever. A bit too late to complain about that now. Accelerate through turn 3. Toward underneath the Cooper Tires bridge. Brake hard. Actually, no. Hardly any braking on turn 4. What am I talking about? What do I even know? I am an idiot, contradicting myself compared to what I did on the last lap. Early apex on turn 5. Going up the hill towards the VP bridge towards turn 6. Turn 6, brake, fourth gear, late apex, up the Rahal straight. Towards, again, the corkscrew. As we come up the hill, watch our markers, brake just before the 2 mark, just a little bit. Third gear, early apex. Don't let the car get away from you. Spin out. Look like a fool. Apologize to everyone for trying to do something you obviously aren't qualified to do, and then continue onwards. Now, as you may have noticed, I do have car damage turned off. And that is because, like I said, this is a teaching moment. This is something where I don't want what I'm really trying to show you here to be muddied up by the collisions damaging the car. the main goal here is to show you that you can achieve these times. You can, with a bit of effort, you can beat these times even. You can even beat them. I do play this game a fair bit, but I would hardly describe myself as being good at it. There are people out there who would probably look at this and tell me I'm doing everything wrong. And they tell me the 1,000 different things that I need to do differently. But, you know what? As long as I did that second half, I'd pay attention to them. And that is one of the hardest things for a lot of people to do. And while I'm here, I'd just like to mention, this is like where a source of consternation comes from towards the Assetto Corsa modding community. There are a lot of very talented people in that community, but there's also a lot of very toxic people. And a lot of the times they're one and the same. They are very bad at articulating what it is you're doing wrong or what is wrong with a certain mod. And that only hurts them. It makes them come off as, like I said, very toxic and somewhat incestuous. Even when what they're trying to do is get you to avoid something that's legitimately not good. And again, like I said, it just hurts themselves. They just hurt themselves in the process. But anyways, enough of that. Pretend this lap didn't happen. This lap sucks. Yeah, let's just pretend this lap didn't happen, shall we? A 134.287. Oh, again, I'm braking way too early there. I guess I'm still used to how the Mclaren handles this corner. Probably what it is. Okay, coming around through here, under the Cooper Tires bridge. Don't brake. Don't brake. Come around turn 4, late apex, onto the straight. Accelerate up towards the Mother's Bridge. Brake hard, hard, hard. Early apex on turn 5. Through to the straight, up the hill, underneath the VP bridge. Brake, 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 brake. Third gear. Late apex through turn 6, up the Ray Hall straight. And once again, we come to the corkscrew. Brake just before the 2 marker. That's a mistake, actually. But then early apex, third gear. Catch the car before it can try to spin out on you. Down the hill, along the rainy curve, 4th gear. Lift a little just for the apex. Late apex on turn 10. Accelerate out through towards turn 11. Brake, 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 brake. 2nd gear. Early apex. Coming along towards the back straight. And once again, across the line. 132.646 is not a good time. That catch. Going, keep it going, keep it going. That's actually exactly like I said. Late apex, accelerate down the straight underneath the Cooper Tires bridge. Remember to change gear. Lift, brake ever so slightly for turn 4. Coming along down the straight again towards underneath the Mother's Bridge. Brake, 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 brake. Don't go out into the sand like I just did. With gear up the hill towards the VP bridge. Through here, along this way. 4, 5. Brake as soon as we cross that marker. Probably could have stayed in 3rd, but we went down to 2nd just to be safe. Down the rainy curve as before. Lift, tap the brakes ever so slightly. Coming down to turn 10. Brake a little bit. Late apex, accelerate towards turn 11. Keep your speed up. Very early apex. And once again, cross the line. Towards Andretti hairpin again. Apex, ride it out through the rest of the hairpin. Towards turn 3. Third gear, late apex, accelerate, 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 accelerate. Don't go over the corner into the sand. Hardly any braking for turn 4. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. And under the bridge, early apex, turn 5. Up the hill towards the VP bridge. Brake at the just before the 1 marker. Late apex on turn 6. Up the straight towards the corkscrew as before. 5th gear underneath the Mazda signs. Brake at the 2 marker just a bit. Finish braking here. Catch the slide so the car doesn't spin out on you. Down the rainy curve. 4th gear. Lift. Just a touch of brakes to keep the car under control. Keep it from understeering. Turn 10. Late apex. Just keep on moving. Keep on moving. Turn 11. Very early apex. And turn back onto the straight. And across the line, 129.033. Excellent. This will be our last lap. Car. So, early apex on the Andretti hairpin. We're in 4th gear. That's a mistake. Need to be in 3rd. Turn 3, late apex. Accelerate out onto the straight underneath the Cooper Tires bridge. Again, hardly any braking, but lift for turn 4. And continue accelerating up towards the Mother's Bridge. Pass underneath it. Pass the 2 marker. Start braking. Early apex into turn 5. Turn 5, up the hill, up towards the VP bridge. As you pass the VP bridge, keep an eye out for the 2 marker. Start braking. Late apex onto turn 6, up the Ray Hall straight. Holy shit, we're actually moving pretty quickly now. God damn. Can we keep it up? Can we keep it up? Braking, 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 braking. 3rd gear. Early apex. Right turn here. Down into the rainy curve we go. Don't go out in the sand like I just did. You look like an idiot when you do that. Just a little bit of brake to keep the car from understeering. Turn 10. Late apex. Very late apex. And then turn 11 is the exact opposite. Very early apex. Ride that out. Don't get out of the track bounds like I just did. But otherwise, that is Laguna Seca in the Tatuus FA01. Back to the pits we go. And now we're going to review our times. And based off of that, decide what our benchmark time should be. So, best time, 129.033. Sector 1 best, 33.5. Sector 2 best, 29.87. Sector 3 best, 25.082. Our best overall time is basically a 130. A little bit of a handicap for people that are new. Bit of a handicap for new people that are new to this. So, Tatuus FA01. 135. That is our benchmark time. Manual shifting. Slicks, medium. Medium slicks. Noon, windy. Optimum track. ABS off. Traction control off. And so that is our first open wheeler. That is a properly quick car. That is a properly quick car, by the way. It doesn't have a lot of power. Let's see how much power this thing actually. 198 horsepower is less than a third of what the Mclaren had, mind you, but still significantly faster. Showing you the difference between a fast road car and a proper, like, full-blown, a full-bred race car. That is the difference in a nutshell. So that is our benchmark time for the Tatuus FA01. Next step, going to be a car that is probably a bit slower, but significantly more difficult to drive. The Ferrari 312T. This is a Formula 1 car from the 1970s. Specifically 1975. It was driven by Niki Lauda in his famous rivalry against James Hunt. This car, I don't think it was this particular version, but the 312T is also the car that Niki Lauda had his famous crash where he was burned nearly fatally at the Nürburgring, I believe it was. But we're going to take it through Laguna Seca. Now you'll remember the last two cars, I didn't have to lift the throttle or blip the throttle when I was years. We're back to doing that now. This car does not have the nice automatic throttle cutoff and automatic throttle kicker that the Mclaren and FA01 had. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. Yes, that is a bus you're seeing, by the way. That is absolutely a bus you're seeing. Yes, you see, that is a bus. That is a bus that I have as kind of a shitpost car. It is silly, it is dumb, and I love it. But anyways, this car, again, takes the lightweight and significantly increased power. Going to run with soft tires on Laguna Seca. We're running with soft tires just to maximize grip. Here's the thing. Again, tire wear is not a factor in these. I have it turned off along with car damage. Again, for the sake of the teaching element. Come around this corner here. We completely fuck it up. And I'm going to do something real quickly, just for my own sake. Browser, mute. Go here. Here. I'm just going to put on some music for myself. And I'm going to mute it so that this part doesn't get DMCA'd. I think I made sure that I already made sure that wouldn't happen with the first music used in the intro. I made sure that didn't have any like copyright stuff. But just in case, I'm going to do this now real quickly because this definitely does. So, Ferrari 312T, Laguna Seca, turn 3, late apex, accelerate, 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 accelerate. Second gear, through this way, along the straight towards the Mother's Bridge. Early apex, we did not brake nearly early enough, and wow, this thing gets away from you really quick. Downshift back into first. Woo! Turn 6, late apex. Way too fast into that corner, completely messed it up. Regret your life decisions. Okay, up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. Second gear, early apex. Watch the tail. Keep it stable. Go, 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 go. We came down from the north, blue hands and a torch, red wine and food for free, a possibility. We share our modest health, it is what we've been dealt. What's in it for me? Find the Nile agree. Da 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 da. Trees there will be, apples, fruits maybe. You know what I feel. End is always near. Trees there will be, apples, fruits. Oh, sorry about that. I gotta get into it. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. We completely messed up that line. Yeah, no, this is a completely different song, Dusk. This is a completely different song. Ah! Yeah, you see what I said about this car being significantly more difficult to drive? Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This thing can and will get away from you very easily. It is light. It's a lightweight car, 1970s tires, 1970s suspension, but with very modern power, and it shows. Down along this way, second gear. Along the rainy curve. Down the rainy curve. Completely mess up the line. Towards turn 10. Downshift, second gear. Completely miss the apex. Accelerate, 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 accelerate. Go, 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 go. Ooh, completely missed turn 11 as well. Completely mess it up. Oh my god, what are we even doing? Ah! Okay. Through. Let's try it again this time. Maybe we'll get it right this time. Andretti hairpin, turn 1. Early apex! Or not, just completely mess it up. But we catch the second apex, so it's fine. Down towards turn 3, late apex, first gear. This car doesn't have as many gears in the transmission. So, we spun. We spun. We spun. We spun. Of course we spun. What am I even doing? Why am I even bothering? I'm completely incompetent. But anyways, turn 5. Brake, 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 brake. Second gear, early apex. Tuck it in. Bring it towards the straight, up the hill, towards the VP bridge. On down this way. Brake, 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 brake. Late apex. Catch the slide. Up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. Brake here. Second gear. Wow. Okay, that car, that was not something I was expecting. I thought it was gonna misbehave on the corkscrew, not the Rahal straight. Oh my god, this thing gets really zesty. So, turn 10, very late apex. Of course, those late apexes aren't entirely useful if you're not accelerating through them. So maybe rethink where the line is, or at the very least, try to make sure you're accelerating through those apices when you get to them. Because that's the whole point of a late apex. The whole point of a late apex is that you want to be accelerating when you hit the apex. Kind of like that. Actually, yeah, no, very much kind of like that. So, turn 3, late apex. Accelerate towards the Cooper Tires bridge. Brake just before the 1 marker. Turn 4. Ooh, this thing gets, like I said, oh yeah, no, got away from me there. Turn 5, early apex. Bring her in, bring her in, bring her in, bring her in, bring her in. Wow, that was actually more like a late apex. Either way, up the hill towards the VP bridge. Now we're talking. Now we got the car speaking to me. Tires are up to temperature, and I'm starting to get a feel for what it wants to do. Second gear, early apex. Down the hill towards the rainy curve. This way, catch the slide. Turn 10, second gear, late apex. Towards turn 11. Ooh, completely missed the apex. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Let's just completely miss the apex. Yeah, that's great. That'll definitely do the trick. Just completely mess it up. Along through here. Turns 1 and 2. Okay, not the greatest execution, but it works. Turn 3, late apex. Accelerate, 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 accelerate. Turn 4, third gear. Accelerate out of the straight. Yes, we actually managed to keep it under control this time. Beautiful. Early apex on turn 5. In towards the straight, up towards the straight, along the hill, pass underneath the VP bridge, start braking, late apex, turn 6, spin out and look like a damn fool. Okay, do it again. Keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going. Like I said, the added difficulty of this car comes from, like I said, the fact its tires, its suspension, and its chassis are all from the 1970s. And although it's the peak the absolute peak of 1970s engineering, it's still 1970s engineering. And it has its limitations, let's just say. Turn 11, very early apex. Coming back along towards the line. And let's see if we can get this lap right, shall we? Second gear, early apex, Andretti hairpin. Ride it out. Second apex. Good, 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 good. Again, not the greatest execution, but it works. Turn 3, late apex. Accelerate out towards the straight, passing underneath the Cooper Tires bridge. Do not brake a little bit more than you would. Catch the slide. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. That almost went very badly. Towards the Mother's Bridge. Second gear, early apex on turn 5. Up towards the VP Bridge. As we pass underneath it, check for the 2 marker. Brake, 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 brake. Late apex, turn 6. Rayhouse straight. Up we go. Towards the corkscrew. Second gear, early apex. Make sure the car doesn't get away from you this time. Down the hill. Towards the rainy curve. Keep her in second. Brake just a little bit to rotate the car. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Turn 10, second gear, late apex. Come around this way. Accelerate towards turn 11. Second gear, first gear. Very, very early apex. And across the line in 1:33.55. That's more the lap times we're talking about here. That's more the times we're looking for here. Okay, okay, okay. Andretti hairpin, decent line. Completely lose the car, go into the kitty litter because you're not paying attention. Turn 3, almost spin. Brake way too hard on turn 4, coming out into turn 5 way too slowly. And we hit the Mother's Bridge just like before. Early apex, turn 5. Up the hill towards the VP Bridge. As we pass the 3 marker, start braking. Weird ass line through turn 6 that makes no sense at all. What the hell am I even doing there? Second gear, early apex. Through there, just like that. Rainy curve. Just a little bit of brake to rotate the car. Keep it moving. Ah! Don't let it get away from you. Absolutely do not let it get away from you. As soon as it gets away from you, that's when you're in trouble. So, turn 11, early apex. Across the line we go. To do it again. Through this way, along here. Through here, along there. Wait, turn 4. Very late apex. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Turn 5. Brake, 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 brake. Early apex. Up the hill, just like that. Just like that. Just like that. That was actually really good. Turn 6. Late. Actually, is that an early or a late apex? I'm not entirely sure. I have to take a look at that line. Anyways, moving along. Continuing up towards the corkscrew. Start braking. Second gear. Early apex. Don't let the car get away from you. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Turn 10. Very late apex. Accelerate through to turn 11. Very early apex. Watch me just miss the apex completely. Actually, I kind of got it. We're okay. We're okay. And across the line, lap 9. second gear, early apex. Right, follow it through, get a late apex on the second half of the corner. Turn 3, late apex. Rotate the car just a little bit. Watch it get kicked over by the by the curb. That was not intended at all. Neither was that. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Continuing along till we hit turn 5. Brake, 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 brake. Early apex. Along through here towards the hill. Go up the hill towards the BP bridge. Late apex, turn 6. Up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. As we head up the corkscrew. Brake, 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 brake. Second gear, early apex. Down the corkscrew we go. Towards the rainy curve. Accelerate, accelerate, accelerate. Just a bit of brakes to keep the understeer under control. And then turn 10. Very, very, very late apex. Ooh. Terrible lap. This is a terrible, terrible lap. Absolute abomination of a lap. Jesus Christ. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Let's see what this last one's going to be then. Lap 10. So. Hairpin good. Turn 3. Better than last time, that's for sure. Not great, but better than last time. Second gear. Accelerate, 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 accelerate. Gotta keep that speed up until you hit the mother's bridge. Brake, 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 brake. Early apex. Up the hill towards the VP bridge, just like before. When we get to the 2 marker, brake. Late apex. Spin out. Hit the tires. Look like an idiot. Cry. Ooh, bring her up, bring it 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 up the Rahal straight. And towards the corkscrew. Down the corkscrew. We could have done that in second gear, but whatever. Continuing onwards. Left, 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 left. Like that. Turn 10, very late apex. And towards turn 11. Very early apex that I just completely missed. And onwards towards the line for our final lap, which is an absolute embarrassment. And that, as you can see, a bit slower than the FA01, but is a significantly more difficult car to drive. And as a result, we're going to set our benchmark lap a bit slower than we would for the FA01. So this time around, our best lap was a 1:33.55. Sector 1 best, 33.595. Sector 2 best, 29.507. Sector 3 best, 26.046. We are going to, where the Tatuus FA01's benchmark lap was a 1:35, we are going to set the Ferrari 312T's best benchmark lap at 1 minute 40. For manual shifting, soft slicks, noon windy, Optimum Track, S off, traction control off. Because this car doesn't even have it to begin with. Our next benchmark time set. And now something that continues this. Again, it's slower than the, actually a fair bit slower, but as before, much, much, much more difficult to drive. And that would be the Lotus Type 49. This thing will get away from you if you're not careful. This thing is your ultimate challenge. You have to understand oversteer, how to catch it, and how to correct for it if you want to get even a remotely good time. It will punish you if you're trying. It is a car that if you're arrogant, if you do not respect it, it will punish you. But if you master it, it will feel amazing. Trust me on this. This is a car that if you can learn to drive this thing, if you can learn to get it around quickly, you will love it. But it will be punishing you. It can be punishing up until that point. So, let's see how badly it hurts me, shall we? So, Lotus Type 49, 1967. Check our... Here's the same tires. 7. There are no tire options for this car, so it doesn't really matter. Lotus 49. Let us begin. This is a car. This is, again, it's another vintage Formula 1 car. However, this one is from 1967. I believe this is a car. I don't remember actually who drove the Lotus 49. I have to look it up later. It doesn't, because it doesn't really, it's not really relevant to what we're doing right now. But this is a car. Remember how I mentioned the karting line and how when a car gets slippery, you may want to consider that? This is a car that is in that sort of category. This is a very slippery car. This is a car that will get, that gets really spicy on you, gets really wild on you. See how I'm having to catch almost every single little corner there? This is a car that loves to spin, loves to slide, and you're going to have to keep an eye on it. Otherwise, again, like I said, it'll hurt you. It will take you by surprise. You think you'll be doing just fine, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, boom, the tail steps out, and you're in a wall. This is an era of racing where cars sometimes struggle to stay under control in a straight line. And as a result, some of these corners are not going to be fast. Let's just get that part out of the way. But some absolutely will. Really just depends on the nature of the corner. Like right there. You notice how it spun out on me right now? That is what happens when this car decides it wants to hurt you. When you have pissed it off, like I said, it gets away from you really quickly. That's why you have to be on the ball to get this car around quickly. It's going to be slower than the Ferrari we just drove, but it's also going to be much less forgiving. Woo, I'm gonna have to focus for this one, so sorry if I get a bit quiet. Ooh, turn 4, late apex, accelerate, 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 accelerate. Turn 5, brake hard. Ooh, that's not a good line. That is definitely not a good line. Turn 6, late apex, up the Rahal straight. Catch the slide. This thing will slide a lot on you. Start braking here. Second gear, early apex. Bring her down the corkscrew. Ride the rumble strip. Into the rainy curve we go. Catch it. Tries to slide out on you again. Second gear, late apex. I have a bit of a karting line as well because this thing, like I said, really slippery. Very early apex, first gear. Probably could have taken it in second, but I'm not going to risk it. through the first 2 corners, early apex, late apex on the second one. Turn 3, late apex, catch the slide, and accelerate out. You're gonna brake a lot more for turn 4 than you would in any of the previous cars. Catch that slide, keep it going, keep it going. Completely mess up turn 5 because you're focusing way too much on recovering from turn 3, turn 4. Get the car out of the kitty litter. And here. Through the Rahal straight. This way. Through there. Way. Down the rainy curve. Down through there. Hit turn 10. That. Don't cut turn 11 like I just did right now. And we're back onto the back straight. Cross the line. Towards the Andretti hairpin again. Second gear, early apex. Ride that along, late apex on the second half of the turn. Out of that just nice and easy. Watch the car tries to step out on you, catch it, fail, hit the wall. Through there, just like that. Long through the straight, underneath the mother's bridge. Brake very early because this car does not like to go around corners quickly. Well, I mean, it kind of does, but you know what I mean. It's a difficult car to control. Third gear, late apex. Up the Rahal straight. Probably should have been in second. Whatever, too late now. Early apex on the corkscrew. Ride the rumble strip. Went in a little bit too far there. Catch the slide on the rainy curve. Hit the curbs. Go for a little bit of a flight. Take a weird ass line through turn 10. I don't even know what the hell that was. Turn 11. Second gear. First gear. Very early apex. Then on back onto the straight. Hopefully this time we won't lose it at turn 3 like we keep doing. Second gear, early apex. Ride it out. Get a late apex on second half of the corner. Turn 3, late apex, accelerate, accelerate. Through the Cooper Tires bridge. This way, through there. Along the straight towards the mother's bridge. Brake, 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 brake. Second gear, early apex. Catch the slide. Up the straight towards the VP bridge. Turn 6, late apex. Accelerate up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew as before. Brake, 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 brake. Second gear. Corkscrew, early apex. Ride the rumble strip. Come down the hill towards the rainy curve. Completely mess up that line. Go out into the kitty litter. Through here. Along this way. Completely mess up your line through turn 10 as well. Yeah, brilliant. Just like that. Very early apex into turn 11, as always. And up we go, back across the line again. turn 2, turn 1, early apex, turn 2, late apex. Accelerate out towards turn 3. Whoa, what was any of that? That was a complete disaster. Turn 4, second gear, late apex. Catch the car as it tries to slide out on you. And head towards turn 5, second gear, early apex. Up the hill towards the VP bridge. Just like that. Turn 6, late apex. Accelerate up the rahal straight towards the corkscrew, just like before. Completely mess up the corkscrew because you're not paying attention. Wow. Okay, wow. Wow, that just got really wild really fast. So pull it up through here, going along this way. That turn 11, accelerate down the main straight and across the line again. Just as before. Early apex, second gear. Or not, just completely missed the turn. Entirely late apex, turn 2, accelerate. Wow. Wow. I completely lost track of where I was just there. Jesus. Ugh. So, let's see what we're doing here. That's turn 4. Okay, now we know where we are. Regained our bearings. We accelerate along this way towards the Mother's Bridge. Turn 5, early apex, up the bridge, up the hill towards the VP bridge, completely mess up the corner, go auto to the kitty litter, bring it back in. And away we go. Rainy curve. Second gear. Turn 10, second gear, late apex, accelerate out, go, 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 go. Turn 11, brake, 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 brake. Oh God, we messed it up completely. And across the line again we go. Hopefully this time we'll get it right. Or we just spin, that works too. Yeah, that works. Yeah, spinning is a great idea. I'll try spinning. That should do the trick. So through turns 1 and 2, we go again on the Andretti hairpin. Turn 3, second gear, late apex. Ah, nice. We caught it this time. Turn 4, much the same. Late apex in second gear. Accelerate down the straight towards the Mother's Bridge. Second gear, early apex, turn 5. Don't hit that big curb, otherwise this happens. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. Up through here along the VP bridge. For anybody here who's new, yeah, you missed. This is the Lotus 49. This is a very difficult car to drive. It was difficult to drive on the tracks of the 60s, which are much gentler, but this much tighter modern track that Laguna Seca is makes it even more difficult. So excuse me if I'm a bit quiet. I'm sorry. I know y'all are there. I know y'all are probably looking at me like, what is he even doing? Ugh. So Go, 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 go. And across the line again. That's lap 8. This is lap 9. The cones, yeah, sure, that'll do a thing. That'll do great. Second gear, early apex into turn 1. Late apex into turn 2. Accelerate out of that corner. Turn 3, second gear, late apex. Accelerate towards the Cooper Tires bridge. Turn 4, stay in third, but hit the brakes. Late apex once again. Accelerate down the straight towards the Mother's Bridge. Second gear, early apex, up the hill towards the VP bridge. And towards turn 6, third gear, late apex. Catch the slide, accelerate up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. Brake, 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 brake. Second gear, early apex in the first half of the corkscrew. Don't let the car get away from you. Ride the rumble strip down towards the rainy curve. And on the rainy curve, lift just a bit. Turn 10, second gear, late apex, or just completely miss it altogether. That works too. Turn 11, second gear, very, very early apex. Then accelerate out of the corner, onto the straight, across the line. 1:34.831. Okay, I think that's honestly the best lap we're going to get out of this car. And that will set our benchmark. Now we set our benchmark time. We saw how well we could do. Saw our best lap, which is a 1:34.831. Our best sector time, 35.618, 31.167, 27.207. And we see our overall progression. Based on all of these, we can make a decision. We can set our benchmark time, factoring in the difficulty of the car to drive, as well as factoring in both the speed and difficulty of this car. This one's going to be a little bit more generous than the Ferrari 31122. So Lotus Type 49, 1 minute 50. Because again, this car is exceptionally difficult to drive and needs a lot of practice to go quick to get around tracks quickly. Lotus 49 benchmark time 1 minute 50. And now we come to our final benchmark. This will be the fastest car. This is more forgiving than the Lotus 49 in terms of how it handles, but like I said, it is also significantly faster. And that is the Audi. Is that a DLC car? Never mind. We're gonna find something else then. Hold on a minute. Ba 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 da. Ba ba da bow. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba da bow. What should we use? I know what we're gonna use. This thing. The Mazda 787. What else we have? We don't have that, which is what I was initially thinking of having the final car view. No. Final car is the Mazda 787B. Group C prototype from the 1990s. This thing is quick. This thing is very quick. And you'll see exactly what I mean here. It also has an absolutely beautiful whale from the four rotor Wankel engine in the back. Well, let's get going, shall we? No traction control, no ABS. This thing is going to get away from you. If you let it, this thing will get away from you. But, again, as before, sheer speed of this thing is a bit addictive once you figure it out. First lap, medium slicks, Laguna Seca. Late apex, turn 3. Turn 4, late apex. Towards turn 5. Early apex. Up the hill. Out and don't go out on the kitty litter like I just did. Just up the hill. Towards turn 6. Turn 6, second gear, late apex. Up the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. Corkscrew, second gear, early apex. Catch the car if it tries to get away from you. Down the rainy curve. Ooh, yeah, no. Of course, we just go out into the kitty litter because we're not paying really focusing. And this way through to 11 and across the line at a 151 on our outlap. Remember, the outlap doesn't count. Turns 1 and 2. Early apex, turn 1. Late apex, turn 2. Accelerate out towards turn 3. Turn 3. Second gear, late apex. Accelerate. Whoa! Whoa, that got away from me. And let's get the car back under control. Second gear, early apex, turn 5. Try not to do this again. We did it anyway, so oh well. Turn 6, late apex. Accelerate up the Rahal straight. Towards the corkscrew. Along this way. Through the rainy curve. Towards turn 10. Don't shift down into first like I just did. I thought I was in third gear. Second gear, very early apex. Cold tires are terrifying. Absolutely unbelievably scary. Unbelievable how scary cold tires are. Like, you think I'm joking? No. Cold tires are terrifying. Cold tires are absolutely terrifying. You're seeing just how scary they can be. Some of these corners, how the car gets away from me. Just like that. Right there. A lot of that's because the tires are rigid. I'm working on bringing them up to temperature, but it's not a fast process. Okay, turn 5. Early apex, second gear. Probably could have taken it in third, but I do not trust this car with cold tires. Second gear, late apex. Don't hit the curb the way I just did right now. Up the Rahal straight. Towards the corkscrew we go. Underneath the Mazda signs. Brake. Early apex. Gets the car if it tries to get away from you. Towards the rainy curve. Turn 10, second gear, late apex. Should do a late apex there. I completely messed it up though. Turn 11, very early apex. Second gear as well. Accelerate out of the corner, onto the back straight. Towards the line. Just like, well, kind of like that, but not as messy. Second gear, early apex. First through turn 1. Late apex, turn 2. Accelerate out towards turn 3. Turn 3. Catch the car because it's acting up. Car's acting a fool. Don't let it get the better of you. Turn 4, late apex, accelerate out on the straight towards the Mother's Bridge. Second gear, early apex. Up the hill towards the VP side, or towards the VP bridge. Second gear, late apex. Accelerate up the Rahal straight towards the Mazda sign. As you pass the Mazda sign, keep an eye out for the markers. Brake just before the 2 marker. Second gear, gear early apex on the corkscrew, or you could just mess it up completely the way I just did. Rainy curve. Second gear, use your brake and throttle to keep the car from understeering. Into turn 10, very late apex, accelerate out of that. Into turn 11, very early apex. Second gear, don't go out into the kitty litter the way I just did right now. Woo. Early apex, come along this way, come along through. Grab that. Turn 4, late apex, keep a little bit of throttle on. Accelerate out towards the Mother's Bridge. Brake. Second gear, early apex. Towards turn 6. Second gear, very late apex. Brake. Second gear, early apex. Down the corkscrew, down into the rainy curve. Probably not a good line, but whatever, we made it through. Turn 10, second gear, very late apex. That I probably just missed. Turn 11, very early apex, second gear. This car is about as fast as the Ferrari or the Tatuus, but it's also quite difficult to drive because you have a lot of power going through those tires. The other factor that makes this car more difficult, it has a roof. That means your visibility is lower. That means you have to pay way more attention to your markers and watch out for any... Whoa, spin. And that happens too. That happens a lot. So yeah, no, try to avoid that. Try to avoid doing that. Probably a good idea. But anyways, coming back around, we go. Turn 5. Up the hill towards the VP bridge. Turn 6. Second gear, late apex. Up the Rahal straight. Watch the car as it tries to spin out on you. And here. Along this way, down the rainy curve. Turn 10. Turn 11, very early apex. Probably could have done that in second, but whatever. A bit late now. Cross the line. Okay, coming along this way. Down along through here. Ooh, that was a terrible, terrible, terrible execution on that corner. So, a couple of things you're noticing me doing there. If you pay attention to the lower right corner of the screen, those 4 bars represent a couple of inputs that I'm using. The green bar is throttle. Red bar is brakes. The blue bar, if you're using is relevant if you're using a wheel. I am not using a wheel. I'm on a gamepad. But if you're using a wheel, that's your clutch. So I should say it's not entirely relevant. It is still relevant to me because I need to know when the clutch is open for rev matching, which is what you see me doing whenever I whack the throttle on the downshift. Just like that. You notice how I also just completely messed up that corner? Okay. Honestly, 3 more laps isn't really going to show us anything with this car, but do have a decent average for a benchmark. So our best time was a 1:27.2. Our sector 1 best was 33.89. Our sector 2 best was 29.251. Sector 3 best was 22.08. Based on those 3, and based again on the difficulty of driving this car, I'm going to say 1 minute 35 for the Mazda 787. Here, go here. Basically the same as the Tatuus FA01. It's about as fast, but it's a fair bit more difficult. So it's more powerful, so it's more difficult to drive. But it also means that when you have it under control on the straights, you're going to be going significantly faster. Mazda 787B. 1 minute 35. Manual shifting, medium slicks, noon, windy, optimum track, ABS off, traction control